Hello and welcome back to Just Callum. Today we're going to be looking at how to set up a bed in your car for an emergency situation, maybe a no-build car camp setup. So as you know, I have a Vauxhall Zafira, just like this. Now the fortunate thing about the Vauxhall Zafira is quite a long car, as you can probably tell from here. So I have got quite a lot of loading space in the boot. I've got quite a lot of loading space in the boot just down here. What I am going to show you is the way you would lift your seats up, push them forward so you can extend that space. So what we'll start off by doing is I'll show you what I've got. Literally the simplest car bed setup. So I've got my sleeping bag and I got my UL80 Alufta Trekology air mattress. And you're thinking, well, it's probably not going to fit, and that's fair enough. You would be right in saying normally that wouldn't fit just like this. If I show you down here, in the Zafira, you have a bench seat, a sliding bench seat. So you see this little lever, push that lever down and then pull up on the seats and they lock in an upright position just like that. And what you can now do is grab this little lever here, slide the seats forwards as far as they go. So you can see they're on this sliding rail here. Then you can just tip your seats up like that, all the way along. Cool. So seats are tipped up. That has now massively extended my length of boot. So this is one of the nicer things about the Zafira, is because it does push all the seats forwards, you have this almost cavernous van-like area what you can use. Now I have measured this, it's about 5'8", give or take, but if you're in an emergency situation, that's absolutely fine. You'll only want a bit of space for a quick night's sleep. So blow that up, let's get that going. Now that's all blown up, you're probably going to figure out that that's not actually going to fit in my car. This is where a little useful tip comes in. If you don't blow your airbud up too much, you can actually tuck it down in between these two seats. I'll show you. And that's tucked down there. Now what that means is now the bed fits in the back of your car. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not particularly long. It's about 5'8". But for an emergency situation, you don't care. You just want to get in, comfortable, and a good night's rest. Just a few hours will make the difference. In a situation where, for instance, you may have been planning to go camping and the weather or conditions haven't allowed for such, and you need to set up camp in your car just for the night, this is a perfect example of what to do. Now you would just chuck your sleeping bag out on top there, and I'll show you what that looks like now. Okay, so sleeping bag laid out on the bed. Now you'll see that it's quite bunched up. That's because it is shorter. This is a 6'2" sleeping bag, so it's a winter season one, so it's nice and thick, but it does make it look a bit shorter. Now I would suggest you have your head at the boot end, only because if you see the seats, they look like a good little backrest. What you don't want to do is have your feet pressed up against the boot in the night and your head hitting this, but your shoulders on the bed. That would be very uncomfortable, and it would mean that you get a very bad neck ache in the morning. Let's go for a few pros and cons of this little setup. So pros, it's an emergency setup. It is designed only for a situation where you need absolutely to camp, and that's a last resort. So it's a positive in the sense that you can do it, and it does mean that you get at least some sleep in the night. Negatives, well, it isn't as long as you'd like it to be, so you will get a bit bunched up in the night, but as long as you don't mind sleeping with your knees up a little bit, it won't necessarily be a problem. Or if you're a little bit shorter in stature, it might be okay. Another positive is this space here. All that space is for your stuff, your clothes, your shoes, any other gear, your food, all that sort of stuff. This is a single side setup, so you can, if you're on your own, just do this and have so much room. Otherwise, you can have two people. And these air mattresses, if you deflate them slightly, will compress between each other, and you'll have almost like a double bed. I don't have two of these, but if you get another one of those Trekology UL80s, you will see that two of them will fit comfortably side by side when they're tucked into the bench seats just down there. So you will run out of room if you have two, but it is accessible for two people. When you do have two people, I don't know if you can see it there on the top up here, but these bench seats, because they push so close to the front seats, you've got a bit of a kind of shelf almost. Another negative, of course, you are only on an airbed, and you are in your car, because there's no raisedness from the floor or major insulation from beneath you, like a bench seat with a mattress on. You will be a bit colder generally, so that's something you might have to consider if you're looking to do this setup at some point. Another positive maybe would be, besides if you've got all this storage here, you've actually got also some storage in the footwells down in here. Now down there, you'd be surprised how much storage there is. There's currently my umbrella and boot cover, and I've still got plenty of room as well underneath there. So if I was to need to store my shoes or something like that would be a great spot to be able to do it. So that's another positive. Okay, so of course, as you've seen, it's very easy to set up, and it is just as easy to take down. All it is packing the sleeping bag away, deflating the airbed, and then moving those bench seats back and the bottom of them back down again, and it's back to a normal car again. So definitely worth looking into. So yeah, this is another good setup, maybe for when you're in an extreme circumstance and you need somewhere to sleep in your car. We've done it and it worked out very well in the end, so it's very good. So if you've enjoyed this video and you found it useful, really appreciate it if you drop me a like. Maybe consider subscribing as well, that'd be fantastic. Leave a comment if there's another aspect or a way that you use your car for a no-build camp setup. Feel free to link me in the comments, and I'll have a little look. That'd be good. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed and you've learned a lot, and yeah, I will catch you on the next one.